Yeah, teeth look really white. Mm-hmm. Your network isn't available. Come here.
I don't know what to do.
Everybody, this is my kid.
Hi,
Kay.
hi.
Hi, hi. Okay, beat it. I'll fix your phone. Do your guys' kids have phones? My kid's got a phone. It's one of my old phones. I don't know. I'm okay with it. She just uses it for Netflix and YouTube. Just hooked up to Wi-Fi. I'm not that worried about it. She's a good kid. And we keep a pretty close eye on it. So anyways, today I'm making a video about one of the first lenses I got for my original XA1. This is the XC50-230. This is the version 2, so there's two versions. There's an original version and a second version. I think they changed some of the lens groups and types slightly. So this review will be for the version 2. This lens is not very highly thought of amongst Fujifilm X series shooters. It is very, very slow. The aperture is f4.5 to 6.7. That's not letting a lot of light in, and you know, it's basically a daytime lens. At least that's what I thought when I bought it. I never really used it at night until I was down in Seattle a few months ago, and I took this thing out and took a few shots at night. I'll show you a couple of shots here as I'm talking. And then I also took this thing to Remembrance Day ceremony yesterday. Remembrance Day is Armistice Day if you live in other Commonwealth countries. It's Veterans Day if you live in America, so November 11th, the end of World War I. And I took this thing on the Fujifilm XT100 as sort of like a low-budget telephoto setup. I've got my XT20, I've got the XF100-400 kicking around in my lens cabinet back there, but this is a nice compact lightweight package, and I believe it's still the second longest lens you can get for the Fujifilm X series. This is second only to the 100-400, so if you're looking for reach, there's only one lens that will give you more reach than this, and that lens costs a whole lot more than this one does. So speaking of price, this lens, I think I picked it up for $4.49 Canadian, and that was a couple of years ago. I've had the same lens ever since. It's got quite a few miles on it, this lens. It's been all over the world with me. I'll try to put down here what the current prices for it are. One thing I've recently discovered is that B&H has an app. That's a dangerous, dangerous thing for me to have on my phone, because B&H by and large has better prices than most Canadian camera retailers. Even when you do the conversion and you bring it up, the shipping's free. This isn't a B&H commercial, they haven't sent me anything or whatever, but check them out, because like, if you're looking for the best price, in my opinion, that's where you'll find it. I love to support local, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it's cheaper somewhere else, unless you're some sort of retail saint, you're probably going to get it at the less expensive place. So I'm not going to get too technically heavy into this lens. It does come with this big lens hood that's got one of my original WF-LBC stickers on it from way back in the day. And this is kind of what it looks like. Not kind of what it looks like, this is what it looks like with the lens hood on. It's a nice balanced lens. It's not super huge. If you compare it to like a standard kit lens, it's bigger, but it's not gigantic, especially for the kind of reach that you're getting with it. And I think it's a great lens. And if you're looking for something that you can use for portraits, it will absolutely work for portraits. If you're looking for something with a lot of reach, it gives you a really good amount of reach. It's equivalent to like a 70-300 if you were looking at a full frame lens, roughly 75 to. Anyways, it's right around there. It's just a really nice bargain. It's got a big zoom ring here, which is rubber. The focus ring at the front is textured, but it is just hard plastic. No aperture ring, as is typical on XC lenses, which are the consumer grade lenses in the Fujifilm X series system. But that's okay, because I've just set this dial here to control my aperture, this dial here to control my shutter speed, and this dial here to control my ISO. So I have the whole exposure triangle right at the tip of my fingers without having to go into any menus, which to me is pretty impressive for an entry-level camera with an entry-level lens on it. Autofocus wise, this lens is pretty good. It does hunt a little, but less than some of the older primes like the 56 1.2. This does autofocus a lot faster than that lens. Obviously, that's a much more expensive lens made for completely different things, but you can still get some very nice background separation with this lens because of the focal length. One thing I do worry about over time with this lens is because it's completely external, this zoom, you can actually feel air moving through the lens as you zoom in and zoom out. So it's not weather sealed. You're gonna get some dust in there over time. So far, we're still looking nice and clean. It's been a couple of years, which that's not bad, but something to think about for sure. But if you're in the market for an affordable lens and you want to be able to zoom way in, if you want to go take pictures of wildlife, or if you want to do street photography and you're a little bit shy, you don't want to get very close to your subject, this is a great option. The only downside is it's not weather sealed, so if you want to shoot wildlife, shoot pictures of wildlife, I gotta stop saying that. You gotta do it on a nice day, which, I mean, I don't like standing in the rain, so whatever. Yeah, that's it. Just a couple of quick updates. My last video I did about these L-plate grips, thanks to everybody who's watched it and left a comment. I'll put a card at the end. You guys can have a look. Somebody commented, I can't remember your name, sorry about that, but they commented, I said this is the first accessory you need for an X series camera, and they said actually extra batteries are the first accessory you need, and they're completely right. Batteries first, grip, L-plate second. Fujifilm XC50-230mm f4.5 to 6.7. Really great budget telephoto lens, very sharp. The detail this lens produces for the money is great. It's not going to knock your socks off for speed, and when I say speed, I mean aperture. Speed is in how much light it lets in, but it autofocuses pretty good, and with the ISO performance of these Fujifilm X series cameras, it is actually quite usable in low light. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Follow me on Instagram at WFLBC, and again, do not follow me on Twitter at WFLBC. I have nothing good to say. See you in the next one. Bye.